Hello and welcome back to another Dune Awakening video. This time we have some interesting news. Well, it got dropped today and I have not read all of it, right? I read some of it and yeah, we have some interesting stuff. And of course, I want to see what the developer is gonna, I would say, clarify a few things. Most importantly, the gameplay and whatnot. So without further ado, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification button and help this channel grow. And let's get on to it. The Dune Awakening server structure and large-scale multiplayer mechanics explained. Nice. Okay. I'm going to speed read a little bit, but at the same time, I did see a few good points that I want to talk about it. And we're going to start off with the most important one. Dune Awakening is a mix of genre. And what are we mixing? Open world, multiplayer, survival game, and on a massive scale. Now, this is interesting. Of course, most game is usually, okay, let's start off with the most basic of basic. Open world multiplayer survival game, the one that I can think of is obviously Rust, Ark Survival, and of course, Funcom's own Conan Exile. Right? It is it is open world, it is multiplayer, and it is a survival game straight up. This massive scale, I'm not going to be bothered because depending on how they want to build, in general, most games usually have a large map that you can run around, and that is in the open world category. Now, the difference is Dune Awakening has a few server, I would say, clusters where you have different worlds in it, and that is actually quite interesting. How would they want to tie into all this thing? Because the closest thing that I can think of that I've played regularly back at the days is Destiny. You have a social hub, and then you have a few areas for you to run around and pew pew. Simple as that. But that doesn't really categorize as it is multiplayer, but it is not MMO style. That's that. And of course, they did say labels can be weird. Decided to drop MMO from our top level. Okay, so this is good. This little thing is good because Destiny doesn't really follow the traditional MMO tag or labels per se, because there is a I wouldn't say server limit, but it doesn't follow the traditional like World of Warcraft and stuff. But it does have a similarity because World of Warcraft have a few regions where it requires you to load and not say load and unload, but different regions where it's separated. So that could be just server by itself, right? You want to go to, let's say, Stormwind, and then you hop onto when you travel to the map, and then you hop onto the Stormwind map / server. So I think that's the easiest analogy I can put. Yeah. So why they drop MMO? Let's read. All right, at heart, Dune Awakening is an open world survival crafting game. Okay, while it has many MMO features, it is important to clear the game is and isn't. Huh. Okay, didn't really say much on this line. Survival, open world crafting, all at the core. So this is straight up. Dune Awakening equals Conan Exiles, right? Straight up. No need to think too much. Surviving element, yeah, okay, cool. It has resource management, right? Typical survival games out there. Building, yeah. So any survival game will have buildings. Okay, cool. It is a sandbox. No, the ultimate sandbox. Okay, Dune Awakening does exactly what I think it can be, or what the developers are trying to do. Yeah, no, it can be the ultimate sandbox game. Of course, the next question is how much of a sandbox it is, because I think the ultimate, I wouldn't say sandbox, but the ultimate sandbox right now that I can play, but it's not really a finished game, is Star Citizen. And no, I love Star Citizen a lot. The way they built the game is interesting for sure, but of course we need to wait for the story because Star Citizen is lacking of the most important thing: story content. This is one very interesting take, I would say. A lot of survival games out there doesn't really have nice small little stories in it. the closest thing that I can compare to small little stories that are, I won't say meaningful, that is just nice on the side. Truth to be told, Oblivion, Skyrim, Fallout. Those are awesome because you have a main arcane story and then you have small little stories inside that you can, run around, explore, and discover, which is great. Okay, anyway, sidetrack a little bit. Best rifle, alright, cool. Somehow on the top there. Okay, cool. Where Dune Awakening goes beyond the classic survival formula. Alright, this is nice. The persistent. Okay, so Dune Awakening has you playing in a persistent world. This is a typical MMO's thingy and multiplayer. I would say MMO. Persistent world is usually an MMO thing, but Destiny 2, no, Destiny 2 and World of Warcraft became a live service. So the line between MMO and live service is actually very, very close as of this game development, or this, I would say, year onwards. Yeah, it's going to be blurred in the next few years for sure. Because what is an MMO and what is a live service? Because both of them is kind of the same. Okay. So it is not a single player. A little... I will revisit this. Okay, it's not a single player, it's not just co-op, you're not just playing in a small server with a few dozen players. Dune Awakening goes beyond typical survival game formula by introducing large-scale multiplayer world and large-scale multiplayer mechanics. Okay, lots of big words, let's go. Beyond player numbers, recognize MMO games. We have multiplayer. Okay, so this is social hub in not social hub. Social gameplay features, server-wide chats, proximity voice chat. Okay, this is normal. The most advanced, I would say, modern MMO has this already, like area chat, area voice chat. I think this one was it PUBG? They have a proximity voice thing. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I don't think it's PUBG though. I kind of forgot which one. There's a worldwide trading feature. This is straight up a MMO style. Yeah, auction house, social hub, straight up. Okay, so the difference between MMO and live serve, I'll not say live service then. I'm going to use Destiny because Destiny really did have a nice middle ground between MMO and multiplayer co-op or LAN, I'll call it. Okay, because MMO you get lots of people. LAN usually get a small selected people, most likely 32 players, where Destiny is like in between. And of course, the key thing is social hub. So most MMO out there has started. It actually started from MMOs, right? Cities where you trade and sell. Yeah, and then of course multiplayer you bring in the social hub where like 16 players, 32 players will just run around, group up, find quests, buy stuff. Okay, next up, there are NPCs to talk to. All right, so this is not to say MMO, but this is straight up RPG. Okay, it's not just MMO. There will be dungeons. All right, testing stage. Okay, so dungeons again is a very typical MMO thing. Multi-act engaging storyline to follow. Now this is going to be interesting because I want to see how they tackle the story for a open world survival game. And looking at how they did for Conan Exiles, I would say I would expect this to be much better. Okay, because Conan Exiles is a little bit lackluster in terms of the story. It is there, it is nice, but lackluster. You can choose to join. Alright, so 2 faction, that's typical, a very typical RPG thing. Offers crafting progression, nothing much. Goal has been created, combat system, nothing much. End game beyond. No, okay, so most of the stuff that they say here is really a MMO. Okay. Next up, do we have anything that says that it's non-MMO? Player population, server world structure explained. You will start playing Dune. You will pick a server that will be your home. Each of these servers belongs to a world, and world consists at least of 20 servers. Okay, so multi-server, a world has multi-servers. Okay, as a player, you interact players from hierarchies. Okay, Haga Basin. Okay, so basically they're introducing the type of server. So Haga Basin is PvE, small little areas for PvP, social hub, straight up just together. Deep Desert, this is where the PvP map. So the closest thing that I can think of that really fits this structure, the Division, straight up. the division. It's literally 1-to-1. Yeah. So of course, the difference is for Dune Awakening, the Deep Desert is going to be the biggest, I would say, environment for you to run around and PvP. And yeah, I'm gonna assume. Okay, I haven't seen yet, I haven't played yet. I'm gonna assume the Deep Desert will be the biggest area for you to run. And I hope it's big because I want this to capture the literally when you go out on the desert in Dune, right? In Dune lore, usually you don't really find. Not say you don't really find it. It's huge. All right, it's huge. I'm not gonna talk too much. Overland map, nothing much about here. It's just map. Okay. Setup gives us incredible flexibility to both how can expand, launch. Okay, cool. So obviously, for every map tied to a dedicated server, it's easy to, scale. That's for sure. Number one, improvement, optimization, and not really have scale, right? Yeah. So basically all the basic. And of course, if you take down an area, other areas still can be played because it is on a different server. And I hope that is that, okay? Because this is literally what is on my mind, right? Let's say Haga Basin is online, and then let's say they want to do a patch on Deep Desert, they can just shut down Deep Desert, and then you can't access for a short period of time. And then once it's done, they just put it up again, and then ta-da, done. Okay. Create a game of a mix of this. Okay, cool. Land claims, interesting. Persistent building. This is mainly on Haga Basin, large scale multiplayer. Okay, nothing much over here. Concerns regarding load and server queues. Okay, this is straight up typical MMO problem. Okay, let's see. We have several commands. Okay, heavy loads at launch. That's normal. Rest assured, there'll be thousands of servers grouped together. Okay, cool. What's important, note that Haga Basin will be a server that can support up to 40 players concurrently. Okay, so that means we have multiple Haga Basins. Now the question is, I think, did they say anything about here? They will be spread across the globe, offering low latency. Let's see, nearing capacity, spin up more, rodeo, launch MMO. Okay, no. Okay, they didn't say much about that, so I can. Yeah, they didn't say about that, so I'm not gonna comment. Event flow, strict. Yeah, okay. Now, we have a system in place that will restrict too many characters being created on a server that is becoming too popular. Okay, interesting. All right, the way the population okay, they didn't really say too much about how they want to control it. As the game operating population, that doesn't mean servers will never reach the 40 player. Okay, no, nothing much. Server queue. Okay, cool. Didn't say too much about this. Servers can be filtered by location as well. Language. Okay, there we go. So that means Haga Basin will be split in general, right, by location and language. Hopefully it's both, okay? Hopefully it's both. Because it would be cool, like Europe, you get English, you get Spanish. No, Spanish? Yeah. You got French, yeah, all that. That'd be nice. Okay. German is Asia, so Asia's big. Australia's Australia. Mainly it's Asia, Europe, and South America. No, South America is big. So it's mainly Europe and Asia. Most likely they'll just filter up the most common used language anyway to begin with, so that's normal. Okay, cool. So didn't really say things about what's the difference between MMO, why they drop MMO, sadly. Okay, what about single player and private servers? Because Conan Exiles support private server, Ark Survival support private server, and if Dune Awakening supports and eventually will support, then I think they can officially, they don't really need to use the word MMO tag. I think that's the only thing. And I think that's the best possible thing without reading it yet. I think that's the best course of action for this type of survival game. Sure, it is great to have multiplayer, but it is great to have single player or at least offline mode. Yeah, so let's start. While the game does not have a single player offline mode, that is kind of expected the way they have been marketed. But I want to see if they did say anything down the line. No, we don't care about this line. You have to connect server to play, but much, okay. Game is perfect soloable. The game not launching privates. Okay, the game is not launching with private servers, but we plan to introduce them post-launch update. Okay, cool. Yeah, technically private servers can be made as a single player, technically. Yeah. But it is a shame that we don't get a offline mode per se yet. I'm gonna put the word yet. This is a little bit different than what Conan Exiles did, because Conan Exiles you can host your own private server, and then by playing single player means you host your own server locally. Okay. So one of the biggest reason, which is the multi-server environment. So that's the downside of having a system built on that type of server. Not say server, but that style, which is rough. Okay. So it's a give or take. Well, I think that's that. We don't really have anything else. Wrapping up. Yeah. So in general, yeah. Nothing. I would say not much of an extra information, or rather say new information, and they didn't really answer the question why they dropped the word MMO tag. Yeah. Yeah, because try it. I mean, most of the things that they posted is really a typical MMO live service thing, so I don't know yet, okay? I don't know what's the extra feature, because, like I said, MMO and live service game in general, it's kind of very close to each other. Really close to each other. So I think the only thing is not available is, I'm not say server rates, but rates. We have dungeons, right? But we want something huge, like public events. I think that's... is that really a... No, it's not really an MMO exclusive. It's technically built into live service. To be honest, MMO is like the OG of multiplayer. Okay, no. Let me close with this, okay? Let me wrap it up, because I think the video is a bit too long and I don't want to take too much time. Okay, so wrapping up, to define, talk about we have belief, server structure. Okay, so basically, obviously, they're talking about server structure. One thing's become apparent that we are developing game. Okay, no, that's it. That's it. Don't forget, large scale beta weekend is coming. And I'm gonna test this out on the Steam Deck whenever I got access, and it would be... I hope it does work on the Steam Deck, okay? I hope. Okay, so to close things up, I would say, yeah, it's mainly a technical thing in general. Yeah, I think that's about it. I think that's about it. So let's close with this. It is great that that Dune Awakening is following kind of similar to some of the more, I wouldn't say modern MMO out there, but some of the methods that they're doing is kind of similar to Star Citizen server structure. Although Star Citizen server is it's definitely much different. Definitely much different. So yeah, couldn't comment too much on the technical side, because most of the stuff that they've posted is actually quite straightforward, right? Each server will, no, each region will have its own server, and that's the biggest takeaway. Yeah, that's about it. Wow, no, that whole entire thing just to explain that little small thing. Alright, so the most important thing I think at the end of the day is the deep desert. Okay, the deep desert is the key thing to make Dune Awakening unique. Other than that, it is no different than a typical MMORPG or a live service game. Sure, it is bigger than a typical live service game, right? Because live service game, usually I see they support, I think maximum is like 16? Was it 16 players? No, but that's kind of close to MMO already. Huh. No, I'm gonna use Destiny. Starts with a D anyway. So Destiny's raid is 6 players. If you go for like a PvP, it's about 12 players. I think 12. Yeah, I think last week was 12. I don't think they go higher than like 20, 30. Yeah, no, I don't remember that. So that's that. Obviously, I cannot use Destiny as a comparison because Destiny is technically a shooter. Can I use Borderlands? No, Borderlands is also like 4 players max. So yeah, so I think Dune is really, really very close to my like borderline, just a little bit away from MMO, but I think it's very close to it. So with that, that's all I have for you for today. It's just learning a little bit for those who are new to Dune Awakening or will be new to a survival game genre. Dune Awakening is doing something interesting, definitely, on the technical side, but we shall see on the gameplay because survival games, most important thing for me is the gameplay. And of course, a lot of survival games out there have not been tackling, I wouldn't say the best. We have good storylines from survival games, but we want to get a little bit better. And Dune Awakening is definitely a story-rich IP. Straight up. Okay. With that, that's all I have for you for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and help this channel grow. I will see you guys this weekend. Yeah, don't forget. Large scale open beta. See ya, my friends.